Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Welcome again, dear students. This is Miss Layla Al-Jihani. Inshallah, today we will start the expansion units from 1 to 3. I think 2 units we covered in our previous semester, and unit 3 we covered this semester. Today, inshallah, we will cover the language review lesson 1. Before we start, let's recall what we covered in our previous lesson. In our previous lesson, we covered the all kinds of people, unit 3. We had form, meaning, and function. In form, meaning, and function, we covered how do we use can, may, and could to request and ask for permissions, okay? And we saw how can we ask, and we learned the difference between may and could. May and could are more formal than can. Can, we use it in informal situations. And also we said with may, we use these pronouns, I and we. We don't say may you or may they. La, we say may I, may we. This is the only pronouns we use may with. Not like could and can, we can use it with any. Inshallah, today we will revise all these 3 chapters. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to form tag questions. Do you remember tag questions? We will practice it again, inshallah, today. Tag questions to confirm information. We will use modal auxiliaries, must, mustn't, must not, and should, shouldn't in meaningful sentences. We will use adverbs of manner, can, could, will, would. We will complete sentences using past progressive. These are the grammar points we will cover, and we will revise, inshallah, in our lesson today. Let's start with the first exercise, which is related to, can you see here? Is he? Wasn't he? We call these, excellent, we call it tag questions. Can you think, can you form sentences using is he? Can you try to ask a question using tag questions? He is, he isn't, sleeping, is he? If we have a positive in the tag, the sentence, the main one, should be negative. If we have a negative in the tag, and the first statement should be positive. And here, wasn't she? She was sleeping. Wasn't she? Okay? Now, tag questions, how do we use it? With the affirmative, if we have a positive, the tag will be negative. And if we have a negative, the tag should be positive, okay? The tag should be positive. And here, as I showed you before, the table, how do we change the positive into a negative? Is, isn't, were, weren't. If we have the verb live, then we add don't, we need these. Lives, doesn't. Studied, the past, didn't. Have, graduated, haven't. Has, graduated, hasn't. Are, aren't. Okay, this is how we change it. And how do we use the verb if we see the statement and change the tag based on the main verb. Look at the exercise, try to do the same here. Complete the sentences with tag questions. Okay, we have to use tag questions. Mr. Morris is a driving instructor. So we should complete it using, here we have is. We should write isn't. Excellent. So here we write isn't Mr. Morris he. So we write isn't he. If we have a positive, here we write a negative. And if we have a negative in the main, we write a positive tag. Pause the video, think about it, discuss the answers with your friend, try to do it on your own. The tag questions, I think it's very easy, something we covered, something we practiced a lot on it. And now let's see the answers together, okay, for the exercise A. Mr. Morris is a driving instructor, isn't he? So is, change it to isn't. Fadwa was. So was, we change it to wasn't. And Fadwa, she's a girl, so we write she. Fadwa was on the phone at the time of the earthquake. Wasn't she? Mahmoud didn't. Here we have a past negative. Okay, so we change it to a positive in the tag. Did he? Okay. The tourists, here we have a plural in the pearl cap, were. So we say, weren't they? Your new bike is, so isn't it? It referring to the bike. Okay. 6, Mr. Yunus won. Won, this is the verb, and it's in the past. So the tag should be negative. Didn't he? Michael Phillips won. Won also past. Didn't he? You've lived also past. You've lived, and here we have. You have lived. So have, we change it to a negative. Haven't you? Okay. The football teams didn't play the tennis. Did they? Okay. It's very easy. If we see a positive, we change to a negative. If we see a negative, we change the positive, the tag, okay? Now we're moving to the next exercise, which is related to modal auxiliaries. What are the modal auxiliaries? Do you remember? We have must, mustn't, should, and shouldn't, صح? Okay, when do we use must and mustn't? Must and mustn't, we use it in more formal situations. Must and mustn't when we are talking about rules, صح? And when we are giving advice, we use should and shouldn't, okay? The modal auxiliaries, must and mustn't, let's revise it. We must talk about laws and rules. When we are talking about laws and rules, we use must, must not, and mustn't, okay? You must stop. Remember the verb after the modal auxiliaries is the base form. We don't add s anything to it, okay? We just put the verb as it is, okay? And here also we use should and shouldn't to give advice, as we said. You should drive, you shouldn't eat, okay? So we write the base form of the verb after the modal auxiliaries, okay? Now look at the exercise. Read it, think about it. Think which one you should write. Must, mustn't, should, and shouldn't, okay? It's a list of rules, list of advices. Read it, try to find the answer. You drive so slowly on the highway. Should you, or must you, or you mustn't drive slowly? If you drive like 40 in a highway, the speed limit is 120. Is it okay to drive very slow? No, it's not. So you hear, what should you write? Think about it, pause the video, discuss the answers with your friends, try to understand the meaning of the statement, and then answer based on the meaning, okay? Let's see the answers together. Here, both shouldn't, must not are acceptable here. You can say you shouldn't drive so slowly, or you must not drive so slowly in the highway. You will get a fine. People shouldn't throw litter in the street. It makes the town look ugly. Okay, this is something we shouldn't do. Okay. 3, he must put out the cigarette. Smoking isn't allowed in here. 4, you shouldn't or must not. Both are correct if you write it here. Honk your horn. It's a hospital area. It's not allowed to honk your horn. 5, he must put his cell phone away while he is driving. It's the law. Okay, it's something must. When we say it's the law, we can't say it should. You must put. It's a law. It's a rule. Okay? You shouldn't speed or else I'm getting out of your car. She's just telling him it's not okay to speed. She didn't list a law or something. That's why we use shouldn't here. Okay? This is for exercise B. Now moving on to exercise C. These exercises, you can find it in page 23 and 32, the language review. The third exercise, it's related to adverbs of manner. Do you remember the adverbs of manner? Do you remember how do we change adjectives into adverbs? Yes, what should we do? Excellent, we add ly. And some adjectives we don't change anything, we will revise everything together. Like for example, slow, it's an adjective, we add ly to change it to an adverb, okay? Adverbs of manner are normally formed by adding ly to the adjective. They express how something is done. So when we are using adverbs of manner, we are describing the actions, okay? How did he drive? He drove slowly, okay? How did she walk? She walked quickly. So quick, we change it to quickly, okay? Sometimes when the adjective ends with an L, we double the L. Like careful, we double the L and Y, okay? Sometimes the adjectives and the adverbs are the same. We don't change anything. Like fast, fast. He is a fast driver. He drives fast. Also hard. He is a hard worker. He works hard. So hard and fast, we don't change anything to it. Also some adverbs, we change it totally from an adjective. Like an adjective, if it's good, the adverb will be well. We change it totally, we change the word. He is a good player, he plays well. The adverb is well, okay? Let's see the exercise here. I highlighted the adjectives to help you, okay? Focus, not only the adjectives, the meaning. So read the bolded ones. These are here to help you to focus on these and think about the adverb. How can you change it to an adverb? How can you find an adverb with that specific meaning? Like careful, the adverb will be, how can we change careful to an adverb? Excellent, we add ly. It's end with an L, we double the L and add y. Khalid isn't careful when he drives. He doesn't drive carefully. Okay, this is for number one. Think about the other ones. Pause the video, discuss the answers with your friends, and now let's see the answers together. Here we said careful, carefully. Good. How can we change it? Do you remember good? Good, it's an adjective. How can we change it to an adverb? We change it to excellent, well. We change it to well. Maryam is a really good writer. She writes very well. Okay, this is the adverb. Fahad takes his time. When someone is taking his time, how can we describe him, his action? Slowly, صح? So taking his time, so he's doing everything slowly, صح? Fahad takes his time when he eats slowly. 4, my father works 14 hours a day. Is this 14 hours a day, is it a long time? It's a very long time. So he is working very hard. He really works hard. This is the adverb we can put to describe how he works, okay? There wasn't much traffic on the road, okay? They got home when there isn't any traffic. They got home late? No, quickly. They got there quickly because they didn't encounter any traffic. They didn't see traffic in front of them. So they reach it quickly. Ahmed likes extreme sport, very dangerous sport, okay? So he enjoys living dangerously, okay? This is the part related to exercise C. Now moving on to exercise D, it's related to the past progressive. Do you remember the past progressive? Yes, the past progressive, do we use it when we're talking about an adjective on its own? No, usually it's more than one action happening in the same time. Sometimes we have 2 long actions Sometimes we have a long action interrupted by a short action, okay? Let's see, what do you mean? We use the past progressive to talk about events, more than one, that were happening when another event happened. يعني two events, okay? I was looking in the store window when the thief grabbed my bag, okay? So we have two actions. I was walking, suddenly I fell, okay? So we have two actions. The long actions, we use the past progressive. Sometimes we have two long actions when we talk about actions that were happening at the same time, things happening at the same time. He was driving while he was talking on his cell phone, okay? This is something to cheat. Here we have while, here we have when. When you see when, we have one long, one short. When you see while, we have two long actions, okay? Now let's see how do we form the past progressive. We have the pronouns here, I, he, we. I, he, she, it, we use it with was. And we, they, you, we use it with were, verb, ing, like playing, reading, writing, okay? Look at the exercise. Complete the sentence with the past progressive or simple past. So you can use any of these, either simple past or past progressive. Do you remember, there is something else other than when and while. Sometimes when we have a specific time, like yesterday, last night, when we have a specific time, we use the simple past, okay? So think about it, read the whole conversation, okay? Read the whole paragraph. Try, this is a story of action, someone telling us what did he do in a time in the past, the actions he did. So read it from the meaning, try to get whether you use the past progressive or the simple past, okay? After you finish, please discuss the answers with your friend, and now let's see the answers together, okay? The other day, the verb to be will be was. I was on my way to school on my scooter. As I was driving along, I noticed that the car in front of me was going slowly, and it was moving from side to side. I realized that the driver was talking on his cell phone. He was having an argument, okay? He was making gestures with his hands while he was driving, and I could see it coming. Suddenly, he lost control of the car and crashed. Something suddenly, that's mean something in a short, it's a short action. Something suddenly happened, crashed. It's not a long action, it's a short one, into a tree on the side of the road. I stopped, passed, so automatically, and rushed. So here we have and, past and past, the same tense. To help him. Fortunately, he wasn't hurt because he was wearing his seat belt. Have you noticed the difference when we use the simple past and the past progressive? This is an extra exercise. If you have any issues, please go back to the previous videos and the previous units too for more exercise and reference, okay? Now, moving to the next exercise. Before we do it, here exercise E, he wants you to complete the questionnaire. You have on your book a questionnaire, okay? You have to complete it based on you. You put a tick on the thing that you think it's related to you, okay? A questionnaire about yourself. Fill in the top, check the items that are true for you on the bottom, okay? This questionnaire is very important. You answer it based on you because it's related to the writing, okay? We will do a writing based on the questionnaire, the following exercise. Think about these questions. Do you think a career planning service can help you to find the right career? It's a career service. It's like someone who you go to if you don't know what you're going to be in the future, if you don't know what to do. You go to this person and they ask you questions to see your personality, to see your qualifications, your grades. Do you have high grades in mathematics or in English? Which ones are more? Or science? Which one you think you prefer, the subject you prefer? The qualities. They do some tests, some questions to see your personality, your qualities, your things they think are suitable for you. And then they tell you, okay, you talk a lot. You like to talk in public. You're not shy, you're not a shy person. You like to ask questions. You're a curious person. Then maybe you can be a reporter, for example. They tell you, based on your personality, what should you do. Do you think if you do this, do you think it will be good for you to think about it when you are young? So you think it's good? Some of you said yes, some of you said no. Some of you said, I already know what I'm going to be. صح? Some of you already know. They have plans. They have things. They aim to something in the future. This is what you should all do. You have a target. So when you are getting higher grades, you reach your target, okay? Would you ever use a career planning services? Do you think of having this in the future? Maybe, maybe not. This is a questionnaire, something similar to something when you are visiting a service like this. You have a questionnaire. Try to fill it now. Let's imagine that we are with someone who can help us with our career. Put a tick on the things you think it's true to you, okay? Take your time to do it. And now for exercise F, work with a partner, make guesses about his or her personality and interest, and ask for confirmation using the list of questionnaire in exercise E. So we answered the exercise E, صح? We have to use the information there and asking each other. This is a conversation exercise, okay? Asking each others about our personality, okay? Like for example, you are ambitious, aren't you? Using tag questions. When we are confirming information, what do we use? We use tag questions, صح? You're ambitious, aren't you? Yes, I am, or no, I'm not, okay? Based on you. The information should be based on you. You like sports, don't you? Yes, I do. No, I don't. Pause the video, look at the questionnaire, ask each other questions with your friends. And I have here a sample. Exercise G, they want you to write 6 sentences about the things you like and dislike about people. Here, after you finish practicing, tell me the things you like and dislike. Here we're using adjectives, something you can see in exercise E and F, okay? Adjectives we can form. I like people who have good sense of humor. This is an example they posted on here with us. I don't like people who aren't reliable. What else? What do you think? I like people who are funny. I don't like people who are rude, okay? Give me examples. Tell me the kind of people you like and the kind of people you don't like. Write it in sentences. Let's see the sentences here I have for you. I like people who are hardworking. This is something I like. I don't like people who are talkative. I like people who are creative. I don't like people who aren't efficient. Okay, we're using adjectives to describe people. Okay? For your homework, please do page 107 and 108. In our lesson today, we practice how do we use tag questions. We discussed modal auxiliaries, must and mustn't, and should and shouldn't. Also, we covered the adverbs of manner and the difference between past progressive and past simple past, and when do we use each one of these. For the fun fact, today I have this one. We have the polar bears. Polar bears have black skin. Their skin is black, and actually their fur isn't white, it's see-through. This is a fact. So it appears white as it reflects light. Everything around it is white, so it's only reflecting what's surrounding the polar bear. This is information. Hopefully it's fun for all of you. That's it for today. Thank you for listening, and inshallah I will see you next class.